and welcome to our Monday afternoon live broadcast. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. So, welcome wherever you are joining us from. As always, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to sort of introduce yourself or let me know that you are here in the comment section, I would totally appreciate that. That way, at the end, after I deliver the message that we're going to talk about today, I can welcome you to the broadcast and answer any questions or comments you have. The comment section is the only way that I know that you are tuning in with us today. Today we are going to be talking about choosing your future, or how to choose your future. And like most Mondays, this is going to be a faith-based sort of live broadcast today. And we're going to wrap it around or come full circle to how we can use these principles in our everyday life to help us with what we're doing as far as intermittent fasting and living a keto-like lifestyle. So we always come back full circle, and I will plant in my own personal experiences or what it is we're doing with this lifestyle and how we can take it a step further to really create a rich faith or help us in what it is we're trying to do with our spiritual learnings. So this information came from a different source this week. It came from the church that we attended when we were living in California, and that is a Saddleback Church. And the pastor there is Rick Warren. He wrote the book, The Purpose Driven Life. So this information came from a sermon that he preached this weekend. So it's very current, and I'm going to break it down for you in how I took it the way I want to live my life with what I'm doing with my nutritional choices. So there is going to be a PDF download available, and that's what we used to kind of follow along when we were listening today and we're taking notes. If you put notes in the comment section on Facebook, you can get that PDF delivered to you in your inbox. And if you do the same thing on YouTube, just put notes in the section, or Kara will provide the PDF link that you can click on and download the link as well. And we're also going to provide the actual sermon link so you can tune in if you would like. So I have some notes I'm going to go by here if you guys don't mind. So I'm going to reference those occasionally when I'm speaking, just so I stay on track with today's discussion. And again, if you are jumping on live with us, please take a second to leave me a comment in the comment section about where you're tuning in from. If you're new, if you're in one of our courses, if you're waiting for our March course to start, I always like to know who's here. And any questions or comments that you have, I will address those at the end. Tracy, we will provide the link. It'll be in your comment section on YouTube, so just watch for that to come through. Okay, so choosing your future. We, as human beings, have this great opportunity of choice. We have the ability to choose. That's our freedom, and that's our right. And how or what we choose to live for our lives is pretty much our free will. We have the opportunity to make really great choices, and then there's sometimes in life where we make choices that aren't so great. And the end result of that, or what we really need to pay attention to, are the circumstances that surround the choices that we make. So I really believe that, we have an opportunity, or that there's really not so much a good or a bad choice, and it's that cut and dry. That the choices that we make are often choices that we're kind of informed on, like we know what a good choice is and we know what a bad choice is, but we're not paying attention to the circumstances that surround those choices. And so we talk a lot here about making two choices every day. How long do I want to fast, and how well will I feast? And when we make those choices, then we have an opportunity to plant into the question the answers about how we'll live out our day, how long we'll fast, and how well we'll feast, basing on the circumstances. How do I want to look? How do I want to feel? And how authentic do I want to live my life? And if you can answer the circumstances that go with those choices that you're about to make, and can you live with the end result of those choices, then you have that opportunity to choose the future of your life. Do you want to be energized? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to feel fulfilled? Do you want to look a certain way? Do you want your health to be a certain way? Well, then that gives you an opportunity to make additional choices. And oftentimes that comes when we're living in a conscious life, meaning that we're in the moment, we're in the present, and we know how we're going to feel when we make those choices, or we exercise that freedom to choose. So we do have that right to make choices for ourselves. We can make good or bad choices based on the circumstances that follow, and oftentimes it's the circumstances that are going to determine whether a choice is good or bad. So you really have to be aware of what circumstances are, and you get that by living a conscious life. So, and those consequences are often what trip people up, because it's the after fact of a choice, right? We do it after we've made the decision, and then if we're not happy with the circumstances, then we start to feel guilty and we feel remorseful, or oh, I shouldn't have done that, oh, I failed again, and that's when we start to become really negative with ourselves. So, the the um, the question that we really need to ask ourselves. So, do you ask yourself the question about those choices that you're going to make? Like, what do I need to do today to get me where I want to go tomorrow? Again, are the choices that you're making going to lead you to where you're going to be in a position where you look and you feel your best and you're living your most authentic life? And if you're making those choices, then those choices will also get you to a tomorrow that you're looking forward to living, or you're going to get yourself to a tomorrow which you're dreading because you're not in that position where you're feeling empowered and you're feeling energized and you're confident about what it is that you're doing in your life. So this message that I listened to was based off of Moses' 4 life shaping choices. And all of the references are in the notes that we'll provide for you if you put notes in Facebook or follow the link on YouTube, so you can go back and reference this. My purpose for sharing this with you is not to provide a sermon for you. It is really to just pay it forward and provide a service for you, where if you want to find some spiritual or faith-based reason for what it is you're doing in your life and how you can wrap that around the choices that we're making here in this community, this will hopefully pull it all together for you. So it's Moses' 4 life-shaping choices. The first choice that we have is refuse to be defined by others. So who are you letting determine your identity, or who are you letting influence the choices that you're wanting to make for yourself? And oftentimes we feel that peer pressure when we're trying to make these positive life changes for ourselves, because we're feeling sick, or we've lost our energy, or we don't have a clear mind anymore, and yet we go to a party and we're afraid of what people are going to think of us if we make a healthy choice. So we succumb to whatever everybody else is doing. And then again, we walk away feeling remorse or feeling guilt, or, oh, I failed again. And then we start beating ourselves up over the choices that we made. And we get into this hamster wheel of negativity and self-doubt, and eventually become sick. So who are you letting define what it is that you want for your life? And really, the only person that you should let define what you want for your life is you and your God. And you shouldn't let peer pressure or outside influences tell you what you should be doing based on what they think. You should be doing what you need to do based on what you think and feel, and not worry about what other people think. And if the peer pressure is the thing that's overweighing the good decisions that you're going to make for yourself, that it will eventually lead to good circumstances, then you're not living your authentic life. That you're letting what other people think about you be a bigger influence and a bigger priority than what it is that you need to do for yourself. And I do believe that if you're not living your most authentic life, then you're not living the life that God has given us to live purposefully, because you're trying to chase someone else. And there's nobody else that should be more important than what it is that you want to have for your life. So the first life-shaping choice is refuse to be defined by others. You define your life, you define the way you want to live your life, and then you stick to that and don't let peer pressure influence you. The second life-shaping choice is choosing short-term pain for long-term gain. And I love this for this community, and what it is I'm doing with intermittent fasting and trying to live a more keto-like lifestyle is that it is a very short-term pain. If you think about what you're doing in your fasting window, let's say, for example, and yeah, there's some discomfort, and and we get to the point where hungry is where the magic happens. But that very first week of our course, and what we're trying to do to establish what it is that we have for our own fasting and feasting lifestyle that we're trying to incorporate is uncomfortable. And getting through that keto flu is horrible, and it's painful for a lot of us. I know for me, I was laid out on the couch for a week when I was really trying to incorporate this lifestyle the correct way. And it was, in hindsight, a short term pain, a week of my life for the many gifts that I've been given today, with the abundance of energy that I have, the clear mind that I have, my brain coming back to being healthy and feeling strong again, the inflammation that my body has lost, the illnesses that I was able to just take away and out of my body for one short week of discomfort. I have now had about 2 years of greatness. And so, are we willing to have short term pain for long term gain? Or do we want that immediate gratification? Do we want to have that diet program that's going to immediately make us lose weight? Are we concerned about weight versus feeling great? Are we looking for a quick fix? Do we want the shortcut to this so that we can get the end result without having to figure out what our body needs, what makes us feel and look our best, what is going to be authentic choices for us? And that's the pain that we have to go through to figure all that out. But once you've figured it out, you're free. And you can really live a life of greatness because you're no longer going to be tripped up or slowed down by feeling bad, or not being able to be conscious in your day because you're feeling negative about some choices that you've made, or you're going to allow others to kind of tell you what to do. So are you willing to go through short-term pain for the long-term gains of what those decisions are going to do for you? Or do you want the quick fix? And when I put my courses together, I put them together specifically so women like me, who often go for the quick fix or don't want to have to go through that short-term pain to get the long-term gain, I'm that person. I like to get to the end of the book as fast as I can. I want to get to the end result as quickly as I can. It's part of my personality. I know that about myself. And that's how I cheated myself in the beginning of this healing process for myself, is that I was cheating and trying to get out of that pain so that I can get to that good part as quickly as I could. And what I found is that when I took it slow and I really learned the process, and I learned how to listen to the signs and signals that my body was sending me, and I learned that hungry is really where the magic happens, and that it's okay to feel hunger. Hunger is where we get to that process of really healing ourselves. That's how I designed this course, so that you had to take this slowly. You have to take the time to learn how your body's going to adjust to this. You have to learn what your body is trying to tell you, so that when you do something that it doesn't like, you have the time to figure that out and make adjustments accordingly. So we have to do that short-term pain to get that long-term gain. And it's worth it. I can tell you from what I've gone through, the women who've been in this community and have gone through that short-term pain, and what they're experiencing now, all the benefits and all the rewards that they're getting, it was so worth it. So if you're feeling some pain in your life, you have to sit down and think, am I doing the work? Am I listening to what my body is trying to tell me? Am I willing to suffer a little bit so that I can be rewarded in the end? So number 2 was choosing short-term pain for long-term gain. And we know that oftentimes the hard thing is the easy thing, right? I know that it's easy to go to a restaurant and not inconvenience the waiter by just getting what's on the menu and not asking for things to be adjusted or changed to my liking so that I'm going to look and feel my best. That's hard for a lot of women, and it used to be hard for me too, but I won't sacrifice anymore, and I would rather go through the difficult process of explaining to someone in a restaurant what it is that I need to meet my needs, for that short little minute that's going to take to say, can you please take this off? Can you please ask what kind of oil you're using? Can you please sub this out for this? So that my rest of my week will be amazing because I made the right choices for me. So never be afraid to be uncomfortable or take that moment to feel awkward if you know that the end result for you is going to be gain in the long term. Okay, number 3 is choose what God values, not what culture values. And this is a huge thing for us women here. Culture is big, peer pressure is big, social media is big. And we have to learn to let all of that go. Here specifically, you won't see pictures of me anymore. I used to do it in the past in bathing suits showing results. I don't ask any of you to show me before and after pictures. We don't use things like a scale to judge whether we're successful or whether we're failing. That's what culture has done to us. That's what our culture has done to us. That if you are not a certain weight or a certain size, or you don't have a six-pack set of abs, or your legs aren't looking a certain way, or your face isn't perfect and you have wrinkles, or your hair is not perfect, then you're not valued. And we know that as women, we have so much to bring to the table that has nothing to do with any of those things. And that weight is not a determination of success or failure, or the size clothes you wear doesn't determine whether you're beautiful or you're successful. Whether you have wrinkles on your face doesn't mean that you're old and not worthy anymore. All of those things should not be how we are judged. And so what we want to do is figure out what can we bring to the table as women of God, and what we've been gifted with that has nothing to do with what culture will determine us as being successful or beautiful, and how can we pay that forward to someone else? How can we take what it is that we have been given as God's gifts and really implement those and use those so that we can have an impact, so that we can influence someone else, and so that we can slowly do our part to change what it is that culture values. So, number 3, choose to live, or choose what God values, not what culture values. And that's really why I have developed the motto for what it is we do here when we're making our choices. And that is to look and feel our best so that we can live our most authentic life. And it really should be so that we feel and look our best and live our most authentic life. And I don't want the fact that the look part is coming first. The look part is a look of confidence, a look of empowerment. And we talk a lot here about when women are making good choices for themselves and they are living their authentic life, like that oozes out of our skin. People notice when you're shining. People notice when you're glowing. People notice when you're confident. That's the look that we want to go for here in this community, the look of confidence, so that when someone sees you, they know that you're the person that they can trust and you're the person that they can approach, because it's all over the exterior of you, because the interior of you is healing, and that oozes out of our skin and seeps out of our pores. So choose what God values, not what culture values. Number 4, choose to live by faith and not by fear. So that means we have to trust the process. And we have to let go of some past experiences that we have had that maybe didn't go so well for us, and trust that there is a better way. Again, that goes to, the point 1, the point 2, and the point 3 as well. And we have to just know that we have the opportunity to make those choices, and the circumstances can be different if we just choose a series of events that are going to go a different way, and have faith that if something has worked for someone else because they followed a certain plan and they made a series of choices, and the consequences of those choices resulted in XYZ events, then why can't that work for me? And again, when I was going on my journey to heal myself, um, I had to search long and hard because there was no one talking about what this whole lifestyle could do for women, especially aging women. And so I just had to go on faith a lot of time. There weren't other women out there that were openly talking about this that I could lean on or ask questions of. And so I really depended on my faith that if I just trusted that my body was intelligent enough to heal itself, that it would heal itself. And that really got me through some of those times of doubt, or some of those times when I wanted to throw in the towel because it didn't go as fast as I wanted it to go, because I had to go through that short-term pain to get to that long-term result. And it was kind of a lonely time for me, but it was my faith that got me through, and it was my faith that kept me in, the faith that if I just trusted the process, I could yield the result. And that's exactly where I am today, yielding that result. So if you're at that point where you are, I've tried it all and it's not working, I wasn't going to do another diet program, or I wasn't going to do another thing, I was just going to settle with the fact that this is the best that it can be. If you're not completely happy with how you're feeling, if you're not completely happy with how your life is going, if you have ailments that you think you shouldn't have, you have to trust the process. And the process is, you have the opportunity to heal your own body. And with the healing, other things in your life will start to unravel for you, and the healing becomes the snowball effect in other areas of your life, and you will eventually become what I call the healed woman. And that's in everything that you're doing in your life, which will then make all those choices that you're making easier to make, which then yields you circumstances of abundance that you will be in awe of. And that's really how we should be living our life, in a series of abundance that we are in awe of. Because when we live our life to the point where we are abundantly rewarded, abundance of energy, abundance of faith, abundance of love, for some abundance of finances, abundance of resources, whatever your abundance is, whatever your surplus is that you have, now you have the choice to pay that forward and offer that abundance and surplus to others so they can benefit as well. And I know for a lot of women especially, having a surplus of things is something we feel guilty about. We really shouldn't be feel guilty. We should really strive for that, because when we have an abundance of something, or we have a surplus of something, that means we're filled. And if we're filled, then we have the opportunity to give of everything in us that's extra. But if we're constantly living our life in a deficit, we don't feel loved, we don't feel energy, we don't have extra resources that we can pay forward and help someone else in the time of need, then we aren't really having the opportunity to live our life the way we are supposed to be living our life. And that's supposed to be generously and paying things forward. And even if it's just an abundance of an experience that you've had that you can share with someone else so that they have an opportunity to have some faith over fear, then you're serving your purpose. And that's really what I hope that in the end that we all come out of this situation with, is an opportunity to have some abundance of something that we can pay forward. So here's what fear over faith can do for us. So fear of past situations or circumstances that we've had in our life. And it could be anything from, like I said, in this community, a lot of women are fearful of trying something new with food because they failed at everything else. Or fear of what your friends are going to say, fear of a spouse not supporting you, fear of past situations in your life that have caused you to become dependent on something else to soothe you or make you happy. And we've talked about using food or other things as a source of soothing in times of stress, being an emotional eater, or maybe reaching for that bottle of wine at the end of the night because your life is so stressful, or you managed to get through your day and now it's your time, so you're going to reward yourself with some popcorn and some wine on the couch, because that's what all women are supposed to do if they just get through another day. And that's really not the way it's supposed to be. And if we have faith that there's other options for us, and if we don't fear that, that fear the next day that we have to encounter because we're in control of what we're doing and making all those great choices, then we can make better decisions for ourselves at the end of the day, which will then give us the amazing opportunity to have a brand new day that's going to start the way we need it to start. So the end message of what I listened to today, and what you'll get if you listen to it, hopefully, and follow the notes, is to remember this. And this is something that I've carried with me through my whole life because of some experiences that I've had that I've lightly shared with you guys, and we're going to get into a little deeper this year. But it's this: And this goes with having fear and letting other people determine what it is that you want to have for your life. And it goes like this. We have to remember that people can hurt us, people can harm us, people can scar us, people can mistreat us. But we are the only ones that can allow ourselves to be ruined. So, if we turn to food in times of stress and that's making us gain weight or making us become sick, and we justify the actions that we're taking and the end result of us being sick and broken down and exhausted and not living our life to the fullest, we're letting someone else ruin us. And no one should ever, ever have that power. We're the only ones that should be able to determine if we can be ruined or not ruined. We can be hurt, we can be shamed, we can be scarred, but we have a choice of how we deal with those things that have happened to us. We always have a choice. We may not have a choice of what happens, but we have a choice of how we deal with it. And are you going to be the victim, or are you going to lift your head up high, figure out how you're going to get yourself healed, and then get on with your life so you can help someone else who may be suffering from the same thing? I have always chosen to heal myself and never be the victim, and always find a way that I can use whatever's happened to me in my life to pay it forward and offer a service to someone else. And that's exactly what's brought us here today. I was sick and I didn't understand why. I was the health and fitness coach. How was I pre-diabetic, insulin resistant, 15 pounds overweight, my thyroid being a hot mess, and me being absolutely depressed and miserable? I decided to take action. I didn't want to be a victim, and I started researching, and I started implementing, and I started experimenting with things. And then I thought, oh my gosh, there's nobody else to help women out there. I need to pay this forward. And I really wouldn't be able to do any of that if I didn't practice these four standards for shaping my own life. And and I really, without even knowing it, was able to implement these four things. So I'm going to go over them with you really quickly. And again, if you want the PDF for the notes so you can do more of the sermon aspect of this, if you put notes in the Facebook message, we will deliver those to you. And if you click on the link where the notes are provided on the YouTube channel, you can get those there. And the comments on YouTube are not reposted after we go live, so I'll make sure that we go in and place the PDF link so you can go back and revisit it on YouTube and get that later. It goes up immediately, so you'll just have to wait a couple of minutes. Okay, so the four life-shaping choices we have the opportunity to implement in our own life. One, refuse to be defined by others. Don't let peer pressure keep you from making the correct choices for your life, which will then lead you to the correct circumstances. Number two, choose short-term pain for long-term gain. Be okay with being uncomfortable for a short period of time so that you can live out the rest of your life in comfort. It doesn't take that long to heal your body. If you do the right things and you slow your life down and you live conscious so that you can hear the signs and signals that your body is sending you, and you can adjust accordingly. Number three, choose what God values, not what culture values. Don't decide whether you're a success or failure based on what someone else has preconceived or decided what success or failure is for a woman. We are the ones that decide whether we're successful or whether we're failing by our choices and the standards that we have for ourselves. It's not a scale on a number on a scale. It's not a size of clothing. It's not whether you look fabulous in a bikini or you have six-pack abs. None of that matters. None of that matters. It's what you and your God are deciding are values, and then you have to decide what you value, and then you make your life's decisions based on reaching those values. And then number four, choose to live by faith and not by fear. I think that's probably the most freeing concept that I had in my life. It was funny because you all know I was with my family this weekend for my uncle's funeral, and I had some really great discussions with some of my family members. And I was told as a child that I was shy my whole life. And what I realized just from some things that happened in my life as I was growing up is that I wasn't ever shy. I was always scared. And when I left my house went to the military, and I started thriving when I was on my own, is really when I came to that realization that I grew up just a scared little girl, and I wasn't really shy, but my actions were always determined by the labels other people put on me. And I really decided that I had a choice and that I didn't need to be scared anymore. And when I really started living my life out of faith and not fear, so many opportunities opened up for me, and I was able to live the life that I wanted to live. And my life has not been perfect, but I've always had the choice, and I've never been afraid to exercise that choice. And I always try to make sure that I'm paying attention to the circumstances that are surrounding the choices that I make, and making sure that the circumstances are what I want the end result to be. So I hope this discussion helped you guys today. Like I said, the notes are there. It is a Saddleback Church message. You can find it if you go to Saddleback Church. It was the message from this weekend, which is February 24th, 25th weekend. You can go listen to the service there as well. And I really want you guys, if you're in this community, to think about how this can impact the choices that you're making by being here. Do you want to live a life where you're constantly feeling guilty about choices you're making? Do you want to live a life that's going to make you feel broken down and guilty? Do you want to live a life where you're not living what it is that you want, but you're letting other people decide for you? Are you living a life that God has intended for you to live, or are you placing your values in other areas that aren't going to get you where you need to go? And we have that choice. And then take it a step further and realize that if you're doing things today based on things that happened to you in your past, no one has that power to hold you in that confine of past hurts. You're the only one that has that power. And make the choice to let it go. Make the choice to forgive. Make the choice to go get some healing tools if you need it. And as soon as you can get yourself to that point where you're no longer letting someone else ruin what you have in your future, then you're free. And that's really when you can live your life in abundance. And then we live in our life in our abundance, and we have that surplus. We are now in an opportunity, because we're full, to pay that forward and help others. Okay, so let me jump into Facebook really quick. So YouTube, hang for a second. I'm going to welcome everyone that's here and answer any questions or comments that you guys have for me. And I want to also take a second to thank everyone who sent me really nice messages and were praying for me and my family this weekend. For those of you who don't know, I went to San Diego for the weekend because one of my uncles had passed away. So I thank you guys I felt you guys in my presence. So thank you for all your sweet thoughts and kind words over this weekend. I appreciate it. Marcella, I'm listening. Awesome. Christina, happy Monday. Nice to have you here. Nina, hello. March and February course. I'm so excited you're joining us in March. Diane, happy Monday to you too. Jennifer, the video is freezing up, or is it my connection? I think it might be your connection. Karen, hello. You look nice and pink. Well, thank you, Karen. That is nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Marcella from North Carolina, welcome. Nancy, hello. Jody from Houston, welcome. Amy, listening from Oregon. Amy, I missed you so much this weekend, and I totally sucked up all your mom's love and got to hang out in your cozy home and hang out with your sisters, and it was super fun. So thanks for sharing your family with me, and I'm sorry you weren't there with us this weekend. Carol, hello. Maria, hello. Jennifer, Karen, Di, I have a personal question. Are you having hot flashes? I have been dealing with this for about 6 months now, and it's driving me crazy. I used to, but not anymore. All my hormones have completely balanced out. The only time I have hot flashes is when I do something with my nutrition to make them come back. So I would say maybe just go back and make sure you're not getting too much sugar in your day. That usually is kind of the culprit for that. Gail, you'll get the notes. If not, if you haven't already got them, they'll be sent to you. Luis, loving the benefits. Yeah, me too. Jillian, I have joined the March course. Oh, I'm so excited, Jillian. To solidify the habits that I have been developing. Body is changing. Haven't weighed myself. In February, will weigh. March 1st, clothes are getting pretty loose. Okay, Jillian, if you weigh yourself, just remember that you've had some amazing positive changes happening in your body and your life. Don't let the scale deter you. Just use it as a reference to see if whatever weight you're at on March 1st relate that to the new changes that your body has, so you just have a reference point. But please don't let anything that comes up on the scale deter you in any way. Janet, so good to see you here, girlfriend. Always love having you on. Walida, may I have the notes, please? Yes, hopefully those are sent to you. Maria, this is the best. Awesome. I'm so glad I thought it was the best too. Let's see. Janet, stepping out in faith is amazing. Yes, it is, girlfriend. I totally agree. Miramar from San Diego. Oh, I was just in San Diego, girlfriend. Kelly, sorry for your loss. Thank you so much for saying that. Amy, yeah, I missed you. And I missed Kendra too. I got to see her beautiful little boys, but she was busy this weekend, so I didn't even get to see her. So I was bummed about that. Lynn Ann from Annapolis, welcome as well. Okay, so let me see over here on YouTube really quick. Kitty Cat, I enjoyed your Instagram stories during the weekend. Oh, thanks. I don't think I did any this weekend. I don't think so. I really, the thing with social media that kind of trips me up is that social media is where I've been able to establish a relationship with so many of you, but I really try to have my boundaries with social media. And this weekend, I felt like I needed to be with my family and connect with my family, who I don't get to see very often. So I didn't do any messaging really, and I didn't answer any emails or anything. I really stayed in the moment with the people that I was with, because I believe that people are most important. And so I got caught up kind of on the plane, and there's some long emails that were sent to me that I will get to today and tomorrow. So if you emailed me and I haven't answered or responded to you yet, I will over the next couple of days. I just had a lot of them. And so, yeah, if you see me kind of dip out of social media, it's usually because I'm trying to stay connected to the people who are like face to face with me, or a situation I have going on. So I always appreciate you guys being very respectful and graceful with me in that. Sandy, hello. Gail from sunny Michigan, good to have you. Tracy, yes, we will put the link in the YouTube video that is going to be posted after this is over. And Kara has posted it. It says, here's the copy of the notes. Cindy, I just finished a February course and it helped me greatly. Awesome, Cindy, and I'd love for you to jump back in with us in March as well. What I really like about this time frame between February and March is that you guys have kind of 2 weeks on your own before the March course starts again. So if you feel like you need to jump back in, definitely feel free to reach out to us, Cindy, and we'll find a place for you in March as well. Deborah from Nevada, thank you for adding a note link. Oh, you're welcome. Lisa, hello from Wyoming. Renee, hello, January grad and February course and passion planner. Awesome. Laura, I'm getting to join your live feed. I usually catch a recording. Well, Laura, it's good to have you here. I always love when you guys can come on live when you're usually catching the recording. So I appreciate you being here, and thanks for checking in with us. Cheryl, hello. I defined my weekend by choosing to make an avocado dip with celery instead of my usual Doritos. For a Saturday night movie. My husband even joined in. I felt so much better. Kitty Cat, that's the way to go, girlfriend. It's just making that decision of how you want to feel. Jen, overcast Los Angeles. I'm sorry. Deanna from Colorado. I have a soda stream for carbonated water. Should I buy minerals to put in it because they aren't any in the soda stream? Yeah, I would suggest if you feel like you need it, for sure. It doesn't hurt at all. Susan, January grad. Good to have you here. Hillary, great topic. Thank you so much. Cheryl, hello. Laura, great topic. Living my best and most authentic life. Oh, Laura, you just made my day. I love it. Love it. Let's see. Hillary, can you talk about gaining weight on keto? No, not here, not today. But if you email me, Ann Parham Fitness, I might be able to give you some pointers or listen to some of our other videos. If you're gaining weight on keto, you probably are not eliminating enough carbs, would be my quick answer. Sandy from the February course. Awesome. Great to have you here. Let's see. Sherry from New Mexico. Awesome. Sherry, if you want the notes, just put notes in your comments, and then we'll get you the notes from today's message. So living, I'll go through it really quickly. Living your life. Make sure I don't misspeak anything. Living your life where you are exercising the right that we have to make choices. And from the biblical standpoint, it's Moses's 4 life-shaping choices. And the verse that goes with that is Hebrews 11, 23 through 27. So you can kind of take it a little deeper study there. And I always love when I can take what I'm studying in church or what I'm doing with my faith and wrap it around what I'm doing with my intermittent fasting and the choices that I'm making in my nutrition, because then it just solidifies it for me as my lifestyle. And it really does make the opportunity for us to exercise these choices that we have and wrap those around the experiences that we have in life so much easier because we have a base, right? We have a foundation of which we're drawing from. And there's no better foundation, in my opinion, than what we can find in the Bible. So, if that's what you need to kind of help you get through, I say definitely take advantage of that and put it to good use. A mom of three, having a hard time getting back into IF, trying again today, eating window from 8:30 to 2:30, just water now until 8:30 tomorrow morning. Stress puts me in a funk and I end up eating without boundaries. A mom of three, you got to figure out what that stress is, and then you got to create new boundaries. For yourself and identify those triggers and then create habits that are going to lead you down a different road. If you want to jump into our March course, just definitely feel free to do so. It's a great place when you're surrounded by people who are doing the same thing and you have that base of support. It will really help you get yourself through some of those stressful times. It's really hard to do on your own. So we just ended our February course. Our March course is open for registration. If you want to jump in with us, it starts March 10th. We've left the sale price, the discounted price open, so I would take advantage of it while you can. I don't know when we're going to end up closing that out, but it's still there, so you guys can take advantage of it, of that price if you want. March 10th is when we will start. Heidi, menopausal, overweight, hyperthyroid, interested in your course. Heidi, there'll be a link again in the notes section, or go back and look at any one of my YouTube videos. There's a link for getting more information about the course. We would love to have you. Menopausal, overweight, and hypothyroid. We can help you with all of those situations for sure, Heidi. So definitely reach out. Kitty Cat, what is your opinion on canned wild-caught salmon? I don't eat it, but I don't have an opinion on it. So, Heidi, the link was just provided in the comments. Say if it works for you. There's no wrong food and there's no right food. There's just food that makes you look and feel your best and allows you to live your most authentic life. So give it a go. Read the ingredients and see if that'll work for you. Okay, so I'm going to click out of here if you guys don't mind. Thank you so much again for all the patience and grace you gave me this weekend. And allowing me the opportunity to kind of go offline and really spend time with my family. It was a great. I got reconnected and grounded with all the amazing people that I love in San Diego. So thank you for that, and we'll be back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll have a new topic that surrounds the idea of living an intermittent fasting and a keto-like lifestyle. Have a great rest of your Monday, you guys.